presidents. Tanzania's recent presidential election has sparked a wave of controversy across Africa. President Samia Suluhu Hassan was officially declared the winner with nearly 98% of the vote, a margin so overwhelming that many observers are calling it implausible. Opposition leaders say the vote was rigged from the start. Major challengers were arrested, some were charged with treason, others were barred from running. Protests were violently suppressed. And you know what happened in Tanzania, right? The government sent police officers door to door looking for young men who they suspect participated in the protest, and according to Tanzanian activists, close to 10,000 young people have been unalived, and they're saying that the Tanzania government shut off the internet to hide the fact. The African Union's observer mission reported that the election failed to meet democratic standards, and the South African development community described it as a sham. Former Botswana President Ian Khama went even further today, saying that he publicly declared that he does not recognize Samia Suluhu Hassan as the legitimate president of Tanzania.
And therefore, and my apology to those who may come from Tanzania, but I'm mentioning this because they are your neighbor, that the recent election and what transpired, the killings around that election, I for one do not recognize the person who was inaugurated as the president of Tanzania. She is an illegitimate president.
And he may not be alone. 2 days ago, the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, was hosting a SADC extraordinary summit. And as it is tradition, he acknowledged everyone present, but he never acknowledged Tanzania. As a matter of fact, the vice president of Tanzania, Nchimbi, was right there on the screen, but he failed to acknowledge him. That is something that a lot of people are saying, that maybe he doesn't recognize the current Tanzanian government. I'll be playing that clip in a moment, but you have to understand that across the continent, several African leaders are quietly questioning Samia Suluhu's mandate. A lot of them feel that she went overboard because they know what is going on in Tanzania. Despite the internet shutdown, news, evidence is slowly coming out that they are unaliving young people in Tanzania. If, of course, we go with the claim of civil society in Tanzania, and the number could be closer to 10,000. That is a huge number. SADC, which you are looking at on the screen, which is the trade bloc made up of 16 members or member countries, and Tanzania is a founding member of this trade bloc, also known as South African Development Community, went ahead to follow through what they called the sham election in Tanzania. Besides Zambia, every head of state of SADC has not recognized the legitimacy of the Tanzanian government. And that's why we saw in that SADC summit that took place 2 days ago, where the president of South Africa was chairing, he failed to acknowledge the presence of Tanzania in that meeting. As I said, the vice president of Tanzania was right there on the screen, but he failed to mention Tanzania.
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and outgoing chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency President Professor Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi and Chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini and Chairperson of the incoming of the SADC organ on politics, defense, security and cooperation. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and heads of delegations here present, Honorable Ronald Lamola, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation and Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, and Honorable Ministers, the Executive Secretary of SADC, Mr. Elias Mpedi, Makhosi, Deputy Executive Secretaries, and the entire staff of the SADC Secretariat, senior officials, and ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good evening to all,